Thank you, Micah. Hello, everybody. I'm Carissa Egan. Give me one moment while I transition sharing my mobile device screen. I get the lucky task of trying to do a live demo, so bear with me. All right, I think we are good to go. If my audio starts to cut out, I can turn off my video, so please feel free to alert me if that's the case. So first, I wanted to dig into the SimplyE mobile application. I'm running or I have an iOS device, so this is the iOS interface. Some of the screenshots you've seen so far are from SimplyE on an Android device. So what you'll see in front of you is the main screen in SimplyE for Wilton Library, which is located in Connecticut. And tied to what Brian was saying that the New York Public Library has done, Wilton Library has created a couple special read campaigns that they have highlighted at the top of their main library landing page here in SimplyE. So you can see a list regarding the Jazz Age as well as baking, followed by, let's see if my screen will update as I move through my device, the default categories or swim lanes of content, as they're called here in the device, for fiction, nonfiction, YA, and children and adult, or children in middle grade, there we go. For those of you who haven't used SimplyE in the past, these swim lanes have a carousel functionality where you can very easily, as a patron, skim through the items, the jacket covers of the items if you'd like, or of course you can click on any of the category titles or the more in the ellipses on the left and then the right side of the screen to dig in and search for other titles within those categories. A few things that I'll note around functionality that you might notice here at the top. So by default, Wilton Library's catalog is displaying all of their combined content here in SimplyE. If you click on either the ebooks or audiobooks tabs at the top of the screen, and I'll do audiobooks for the moment, the mobile app will continue to keep the same swim lanes or categories of content, but filter by format. So now you can see just all of the e-audiobooks that are in Wilton Library's combined catalog. The reason why I'm picking on Wilton Library in particular, and this gets to, I think, a question that I saw in the chat from Sue, is that they have 8 different content distributor accounts integrated that you are seeing right here in the mobile app. And I'll dig into the administrative portal, which Micah mentioned, and show you exactly where the content being sourced in the app is coming from. But on that note, I wanted to first, and I can't type and talk, I apologize for the awkward silence while I type. I wanted to show an example that really highlights the power of SimplyE that Brian was pointing to earlier. So I just typed Connecticut into the search bar, a very appropriate term for a library in the state of Connecticut. And the first item that you can see, the Connecticut coast, if I click on it, it's hard for me, I don't have a highlighter functionality here on my mobile device, but down in the bottom of your screen, you'll see that this particular title is distributed by the DPLA exchange. So it's a content item that's coming in through the exchange into Wilton Library's catalog. If I go back to the search screen and click on the title Birding in Connecticut, and this directly ties to your question, Sue, this particular item is being sourced through an Overdrive collection that Wilton Library has an account through. And then, let me click on audiobooks here. The title, A Connecticut Yankee in King Arthur's Court by Mark Twain, an audiobook, is being sourced from RB Digital. And I feel like this example illustrates the real power of SimplyE, and that the patron doesn't have to worry about the contractual relationships that their local library has with one or many content vendors. It is all displayed in one easy to navigate, easy to search, easy to filter application. They don't have to download a myriad of different mobile devices in order to find something to read or something to listen to in the case of e-audiobooks. Okay, so with that, one moment while I stop sharing my mobile device screen and transition to my computer screen. All right. I'm going to assume you all can see my screen at least now. um, so awesome. Thank you, Michelle. So what you'll see in front of you now, as Micah had mentioned previously, is the administrative portal, the Library Simplified Circulation Manager. It's the middleware piece that really enables the power of the combined collections in the SimplyE mobile app. So the default screen that you see in front of you is the combined catalog view here, and it mimics exactly what you see in the mobile application. So as a librarian at Wilton Library, you don't have to pull up your mobile device to see the catalog and the categories of content. I don't have time today, and I want to be respectful of my two colleagues who have yet to present, to delve into all of the details, but please don't hesitate to reach out to me offline, and I'm happy to schedule a true deep dive into this interface. But I did want to quickly show two components here in this administrative portal. So the first is the way that you would curate those custom highlighted lanes or special categories of content. And it's really just a simple interface where as a librarian, you can search. Let me just clean up some of the text on the screen here. You can search across all of the content that has been integrated for your library in this interface and create custom lanes to appear in the mobile device essentially on the fly within literally several seconds, so to speak, of creating these custom lanes. They will appear in the mobile device for your library. And it's a relatively straightforward interface where you can drag and drop the order of the lanes that appear in the mobile device. You can turn the visibility on and off, so your library staff can start to curate lists before pushing the button to go live, so to speak, in the app. So I just quickly wanted to talk through this functionality. And then the last thing that I wanted to highlight here as well is in the dashboard. And I'll wait one moment while my screen updates here. And I'm going to scroll down here to the collections that are integrated, this bar chart, as I think that that's, again, another critical visual to show the power of SimplyE. So as I mentioned just a while ago, Wilton Library, and I chose them specifically because they have 8 different either vendor or open collections integrated in the combined catalog that you can see and that their patrons have access to in SimplyE. There are 3 Connecticut State Library sourced collections, and my colleague Brad will talk a bit about that, I'm sure, here in just a moment, from 3 different vendors, one from Baker & Taylor, one from the DPLA Exchange, and then one from RB Digital, that again, the state library purchases items from and then makes available to residents across the state of Connecticut. So Wilton Library doesn't have to point their patrons to those individual collections or that vendor's specific mobile app. Those items are automatically integrated into their collection alongside their Overdrive collection. In the case of Wilton Library, they are a member of a local regional consortia group. The acronym is LCA, Library Connections Incorporated. And their shared Overdrive collection is integrated in here as well. Alongside, I'm sure as many of you who are familiar with Overdrive, in the consortial setup of an Overdrive collection, there's the concept of an Advantage account. So Wilton Library also purchases an additional supplementary material on top of the shared consortial Overdrive collection. Additionally, Wilton Library also purchases materials directly, licenses materials directly from RB Digital. So that account is also integrated into their collection here. And then lastly, I'll point to the two other collections that that we've integrated on their behalf. And that is the DPLA Open Bookshelf collection that Micah was just talking about, with over 6,000 curated open items, as well as an open collection from the New York Public Library as well, their Instant Classics collection. So there are over 12,000, closer to 13,000 open access items also that appear alongside all of their licensed materials from the other vendors in the SimplyE application that Wilton Library patrons can access all through SimplyE. So again, apologies for the brevity, but I am going to now, I'll stop sharing my screen and turn it over to my wonderful colleague, Michael Blackwell.